Hi guys and welcome. So today we're going to talk more about Framer, and in this case we're going to learn about state. So in easy analogy, state here is basically like you're saying to your object to do A, then B and C. So there is this staging momentum. So to do so, let's go to design, create your artboard over here, and then create your first object. In this case I'm going with rectangle here. Let's see, like that, and I want to change the color to blue, and then after that, as you can see, there's an object here. Anyway, don't forget as well to select target and rename it so it'll be easy to read on the code. So rename to something easy like box, for example, in this case. Alright, there you go. So this is an example of an object here. So now we're going to create our first state. Let's type the object name, which is box in this case, dot state. Remember the syntax. Dot. This is what you need to know. You can rename your state with any name, A or B or whatever, but for the sake of this guide, I'm going to go with first. So it means that the first state of the box, and then we're going to assign the value, right? The properties as well in this case. So for easy one, let's go with size to, let's say 200. Now if you click the object, the box in this case, nothing happens. It's because that this state is merely talk to you that the size of the box is 200, but it doesn't tell you to change the box when you do something. So you need to call the state, right? To call the state, to do that, you can go with click the box here, write the name of the object, and then state cycle. There you go, and add the brackets on it. So for now, we won't fill any parameters on the brackets. So let's see, if we reset the simulator, it suddenly go to 200 on the size. It's because that we call the state here using state cycle, and it means that state cycle assign and store the value and the properties of the first state of the box. Very easy, right? So what is the difference then between state and animate? So animate is more to an executor rather than state that tells you to define the properties before you execute it. So it's very simple, but of course if you're just getting started it might be a bit compelling to you, right? So let's dive in. So let's add box animate inside so you will know how to use both at the same time. So we go with box animate, and then don't forget the indentation of course, and the size is 200. Now because we type box state cycle, it suddenly animate the size to 200. Okay, so we don't want that because we need to control, right? And to do that, if you have watched the previous video, check the link down below here, we will use the event here. We're using the event. So for example, box on click chevron, and then don't forget to add indentation. Okay, so after we write box state cycle and we reset the simulator, we have an issue here. It automatically changed the size, but instead we already defined the on click and the chevron here. What happens? Do you know? Of course, it's because we define the state here, the animate here, outside the method of onClick, which is pretty tricky in this case, even though this is not a large scale code, right? It's pretty tricky. Now if we change this and put it inside, let's say I'm going to fix the code here, there you go, and then we click it, then it changed. So remember, this animate here must be defined inside a method, or in this case an event, so you'll be able to control that. So let's see what we did before. Here, box state first, which is then the first state where we animate the box within the size value of 200, and then box on click box state cycle, which means we cycle the state here, but instead instead of we cycle the state, the animate here just executing the state without acknowledge the state cycle. So basically this is the tricky part, right, between animate and state cycle. Not just between animate and states, because both can be used universally, but it's also about how we use animate and state cycle at the same time. So if you do this, then it will always start or run automatically. That's because we define animate, which execute directly without having the event to be run in the first place. So it means that this is nothing. Okay, so if we delete this, it's also the same thing, right? So there we go. You now see. So let's go back and put the state here inside the event. There you go. It's much better now. Okay, let's do this. Okay, so the next part is how if we add another state, how to do that. Can we add another state for the box? It's not pretty much wise to create many states for an object. So we need to define an object, another object here. Let's go with oval. And say simply I'm gonna put it there. There you go. And oops, define the target first. And go back. And now we wanna do another thing, but the same thing as well, right? So box, oops, oval dot on click box. Oh, again, states dot say first the name as well, and we go with oval. Animate to, let's say, background color to yellow, and then we want to play it oval state cycle. There we go. There we go. Very nice. It runs. So what do we learn here is that animate and state can be used universally at the very same time, but animate itself should be run inside an event if you want to control it. If you add this oval animate outside, in this case outside the onClick, it will change to yellow, in this case for the properties, automatically, and you don't want that. So remember about that little details in this case. Now for the better improvement of the animation, we want to add another snippets. Let's say okay, let's say sound. Amazing. Alright, so as we go, we can actually do the autocode, or we can manually type. So it's pretty much easy and simple, right? So we want to add it inside the animate, or right there. Okay, unexpected new line. There we go. Okay, nice, it's playing. And we're going to do the same thing as well to the box. Go to snippet. Copy here. There. Okay, so we click it. There. Nice. Pretty nice, right? Let's do it again. Okay, by using state, you can basically control the animation, the properties, or even the snippets, and you want to cycle or call the state here using state cycle. Again, state cycle in this case, it stores all the value of this into this code, and the same goes to this one as well. Okay, let's play it one more time. It's pretty satisfying. Okay, so that's all about state. I hope you gained something, and I hope it's comprehensive enough to guide you through the beginner's pace of using Framer. So if you have some difficulties, you may leave a comment down below and I'll try to explain as brief as possible. Thank you so much for watching, and if you like this video, you can subscribe to support this channel, and if you disliked, thank you very much. And that's all, so I'll see you in the next video. Have a great day. Bye bye.